I waited for 12 hours to just get a hint from Redon to drop a video about it, but apparently we got nothing today. So let's hope that Monday is gonna be a huge day for One Piece, especially the fact that on Tuesdays usually the brief spoilers, so tomorrow is gonna be loaded, so I'm assuming that tomorrow is gonna be double upload video. So in this video, unfortunately, Worst Jin announced that he's retiring from being a leaker, and we got... Let's hope that he's just kidding, okay? Let's just... say that's a November Fools, okay? I'm just delusional at this point, okay? I'm just truly delusional at this point. And since we're talking about Worst Jin, he dropped a tweet like 2 weeks ago or something, asking people on how you feel about Guide Valley in general, like the whole flashback and what do you think about it. And there's this guy who responded. I found that code tweet interesting, so let's read it together. But before we get into that, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you like daily One Piece content, because I'm sure if you love the channel, bro, I'm here every day for spoilers, hints, leaks, chapter reviews, reading your hot takes, reading your predictions. Dude, I'm here every day, and I'll make sure to pop up on your feed, and let's get into the video. So here's Worst Jin's tweet, and he said, Guide Valley is over, most likely. Thoughts so far? Did you guys enjoy the event of Guide Valley? Let's say most of the replies are people who just simply loved Guide Valley flashback, and they were saying that it's good and everything. And Worst Jin replying to the people who were saying that it's kind of disappointing and everything, he said, after reading all your opinions, I can understand that a lot of you guys are disappointed. For myself, I didn't expect much. I knew Oda wouldn't make a big war with a lot of fights in this flashback. For what we got, I'm happy. It could end worse, but also end better. So for the sake of his reply, we still haven't seen the ending of Guide Valley, so we couldn't tell so far, but it's kind of looking like that the ending is gonna be amazing, right? Because now it looks like the next chapter 11 and 66 is gonna be the ending of Roxy Zebek's character and everything, and how Guide Valley is gonna be erased, and how everybody's gonna be escaping Guide Valley, and how Whitebeard is gonna be with Polo Graham and everything. So it most likely the next chapter is gonna be amazing. So let's assume that the ending of Guide Valley is gonna most likely be amazing, right? So let's read this cut tweet where this guy said, he simply said, ass 4 out of 10 at best. Guide Valley was never about the BS, Emu, Joy Boy, and Davy lore. Anybody saying this is a fucking idiot. We wanted to see these legendary old gen through hands, and Oda failed woefully. Look, James Peter, or whatever your name is, I know what you were expecting from Guide Valley, right? Because whatever Sengoku said, it was most likely looking like it is a whole, like, fighting flashback. It's a battle flashback, right? Like Guide Valley is just about fights and everything. And a lot of people are just disappointed that we didn't see a lot of fights. Well, apparently in the previous chapter we got a lot from Garb and Roger versus Rocks, which was amazing. And when you think about it, Guide Valley was simply about Roger and Garb versus Rocks, and we've seen the whole fight. Like, the thing is, the thing about Guide Valley is that the fact that once we got into this flashback, once we started the Rocks journey, the Rocks saga, the Rocks flashback, the Rocks story, it was about Rocks himself. So this is a story about Rocks himself, from the perspective of Rocks, from the point of view of Rocks. So once we got into Guide Valley, the island itself, we've seen the story itself, and why was Rocks there, bro? They told us that he was there for a treasure or something, and it was lies. He was there to save his kid and his wife. So it's a story about Roxy Zebek trying to save his wife and his kid. I know you were expecting fights. Well, guess what? You got the most important one. The essential, like, fundamentally speaking, Guide Valley is all about Garb and Roger versus Rocks, and you got it. But at the same time, One Piece is about story. It's about storytelling. It's about long-term storytelling. It's about telling stories about certain characters, character development, and everything. So whatever we got with Rocks, Roger, Garb, and everything, we understood these characters, and we got finally the perspective and the point of view of each character. And like, in the previous chapter, we got Roger was saying that I was here for Shaki and taking some treasures and leaving, but you got me here stuck fighting this demon. And Garb said I was here to capture you and Rocks. So he got the point of view, and Rocks was there to just simply help and rescue his son and his wife. So if we finally understood the whole God Valley saga, the whole God Valley incident, the whole God Valley flashback. So I'm not gonna say that some people are obsessed with fights, but at the end of the day, One Piece is about stories. One Piece is about mysteries. One Piece is about lore and everything. So can you imagine that we got God Valley? You're complaining that God Valley is most likely about Emu, Joy Boy, and Davy Jones' lore? Dude, that is the most important thing in One Piece. That's the fundamental lore in One Piece, bro. That's the beginning of the story of One Piece. Like Imu-sama, Joy Boy, Davy D. Jones, all these people who they were simply the people who started it all. So complaining about it, I feel like, look, I don't know you, and I know so many people kind of agree with you, right? And I respectfully, I get your point. Like, I get your point. Some people are just disappointed that Oda usually never do full fights and everything. It's just the usual off-screen fights and everything. But at the end of the day, it's a flashback. You can't expect like a 10 chapters full fight with like Luffy versus Kaido or Luffy versus Katakuri. That's not gonna happen in a flashback, right? The full fight with Emo and all these guys, you're gonna see it in the final saga, in the final battle with like Luffy, Teach, Dragon, all these guys versus Imu-sama. But in the flashback, it's tough to get it. But guess what? You got a full fight with Roger and Garp versus Rocks, and that's, in my opinion, that's pleasing. Like, now I can leave God Valley flashback being satisfied, honestly. Like, I get you're being disappointed and everything, but for me, and I know so many people agree with me on that point, it was about the journey of Rocks. It was about seeing all these great characters. It was about understanding what happened in God Valley and all the like the aftermath and whatever happened and whatever caused the God Valley incident and everything. We understood everything. We got everything we wanted to see. So as far as finally seeing the God Valley and witnessing the flashback itself, I'm satisfied. Like, did I want to see more? Yeah, of course. I wanted to see more in God Valley, because at the end of the day, like, who wouldn't say no about seeing these legendary characters, right? But at the end of the day, like, whatever you expected from God Valley, like for example 5 years ago or 6 years ago when Sengoku was talking about it, you got it. Okay, you got it. It was just, we were expecting more because we got 6 years of thinking about God Valley, but at the end of the day, it was the journey about with Rocks and everything, and we understood everything we wanted. So I guess this is it. Right in the comments, what do you guys think about that? I get it. If you agree with James Peter, I get it. I totally get your point and everything. So right in the comments, do you guys agree with me on that point, or do you guys agree with James Peter? I guess this is it. Get out of here.